What's up, Houston Hacks fans? Face cam reveal. This is the final week of the regular season video. It's going out, I guess today's Friday. So it's a little bit late since me and Henrik played, I believe, on Sunday. So it's been a while, but I still want to get this video out before playoffs start. My team's already set. I'm pretty excited for that game to start as well. But yeah, no, let's get right into it. Let's look at this matchup. That was the result. But you guys already know the result. Anyways, what we're looking at here, and as far as what do I see as a threat right away? This should jump out to you. 11-2. He's only had Durant for like 5 weeks. He's brought it like every single time. That thing is a mad threat. 80% of the time, it's going to basically kill something. So you can really just pray for it to miss. There's a few ways to get around some of the things, but its speed tier of 109 is really, really threatening. Basically being able to kill almost everything below my Jolteon is really, really scary. Having the Jolteon is really, really nice, as that can come in and almost Oko Durant, depending on obviously what set I run. Another major threat, Hydreigon. Part of the reason, honestly, I picked up Togetic, and Togetic is insanely bulky with Evolite. Like, it is crazy bulky. So pretty cool Mon. I really I haven't really used it too much, but it's been fun to just see it in action. Haunter, a decent threat, not too worried. Rillaboom, I didn't think had a great matchup against me. Mantine was definitely a problem. And I thought it would be difficult for me to break if I, didn't provide coverage for it or be able to get Jolteon on it. I wasn't really thinking he'd bring Mr. Rhyme. I thought Machamp. I think Machamp's just an underrated mon. I think Machamp's really, really good, actually. I figured Colossal was a really good bring against me as well. Just how bulky it is, just so bulky. And then Hatterene is always a threat. Even though its KD hasn't been the greatest, and it got most of its kills against Magnus in the final game played of the season. But Hatterene, still a threatening mon. Runerigus obviously can set up spikes and Toxic Spikes, so that's also a threat. The mons that we wind up going with, and I might as well, I think I'm just going to streamline this a little bit more than usual. But mons that I thought that I had pretty good matchups or I needed to bring. Of course, Piloswine. I mean, I got that 4 weeks ago, so I got to bring that to every single game. And then I thought Golisopod actually had a pretty good matchup as far as hitting his team very, very hard and then having that priority. And then I believe I brought Arcanine and Mew. So let's go check out what exactly I brought. Let's go to, nope, not the damage calculator, but the team builder. Yep, here we go. Golisopod was the first mon that I made, and I realized with the speed investment, I'm able to outspeed a couple of his things if he didn't invest a ton of speed in. Like, here we go. Like with this speed investment, Adamant max speed, I'm able to outspeed Mantine and Mr. Rhyme as long as they are super defensive. So that's really nice. Now he could easily speed creep that, but I wanted to at least have that chance. And then you can see that the tech that I brought for it was actually Rock Tomb, trying to hit Mantine on the switch. I just elected to go with First Impression to just revenge kill a bunch of things, have an option maybe to pick off the Durant if it got really weak. And then I figured if I wanted to be safe and just get some value, I could bring spikes instead of more coverage. Liquidation pretty much hit everything on his team fairly hard, except for the Mantine, obviously, with Water Absorb. So that's why I needed to bring the Rock Tomb. Also, with my max speed, that Rock Tomb would allow me to get a second hit off on a couple of his mons after slowing them down one speed stage. So just something to consider. All right, so Mew, I just brought 4 attacks this time. I didn't bring Nasty Plot. Usually I do. But I needed all the coverage. I needed to be able to at least attempt to bait out the Durant and then Oko with Flamethrower. I needed the Surf. The Surf was a very late addition. I had Shadow Ball before, but I just had to pick my poison. Did I want to not be able to hit Hat, or did I not want to be able to hit or did I not want to be able to hit his Colossal? And so his Colossal and his Runerigus. So I decided to go for the Surf because the Colossal was actually wound up being a big threat, especially the more and more I looked at it. And then Psyshock as Stab, and then Dazzling Gleam for Hydreigon if he wasn't Scarfed, which he wound up not being in the game. Jolteon, I wanted it to be able to take a hit from the Hydreigon, especially a Scarf one. And so having the Assault Vest just made that a lot easier for my Jolteon to take hits. I really didn't need a ton of damage. I mean, it's definitely max special attack modest, so it hits as hard about as it can. But the Assault Vest just allows me to take some hits that otherwise it may not. And then at the very end of the game, it actually turned out being pretty useful against his Mr. Rhyme, just guaranteeing that I win the game. So let's keep on going. But Piloswine, one of my favorite mons. I'm so glad I picked it up. I had to forego having a Steel type and a Ghost type, both of which are really good in this format, I feel. But having another Stealth Rocker, having more priority with Ice Shard just is super, super valuable. So having the Ice Shard to pressure his Hydreigon, Icicle Spear was for it was just for trying to do some damage, and in case he set up any subs, and then obviously getting up rocks would have been really, really nice. Lastly, my last two mons, we have Arcanine with heavy duty boots. I haven't really brought a bunch of heavy duty boots. I don't know why. It makes fire type so much better. But basically Arcanine with a ton of coverage, just trying to hit everything on his team hard. Having the electric move of Wild Charge is so huge for Mantine. And then basically with this set, I can hit everything on his team, and I can extreme speed and kill some things. And then lastly, I have my Togetic. It has enough defense that it actually does not die to an Iron Head from Durant from full, which is insane to me that this pre-evolution can do that. So being able to sit in there, take an Iron Head, and then Flamethrower to kill, or Dazzling Gleam also kills Hydreigon with 16 points invested. Then it has a little bit of reliable recovery in Morning Sun, and then following up with Baton Pass. And Baton Pass is just really, really nice if I expect a switch, if he doesn't want to take that chance with the Hydreigon. Also, just with 80 Spadef in EVs, Life Orb, Nasty Plot, Hydreigon with Flash Cannon cannot kill Togetic. And its Iron Tail doesn't kill it either. So that's pretty nice. So just really, really bulky mon. Let's go ahead and get into the battle. Let's see if I got it pulled up correctly. There we go. We're going to go without music. So basically, I decide to lead Mew as I can get off moves on his entire team. He does not bring Colossal. He winds up bringing the very bulky Runerigus, which I believe was like max Spadef when I ran the calc, or definitely had some Spadef invested, I'm pretty sure. But I get a crit off the bat. This is really big for a couple of reasons. It means I 2-hit KO, whereas I don't think I would have otherwise. So it basically forces him to either sack his Runerigus right off the bat or switch. And so just the amount of pressure that it puts on is really, really nice, because I would have 3-hit KO with the Surf, which obviously wouldn't have been great. Now, this is an important turn because I got the damage off on his Hegatha, his hat. And so looking at that, only doing 14, it reminded me of playing ball and seeing how much damage I did to his Diggersby. Okay, so this thing is Assault Vest, max Spadef after looking at the calc, or it's max Spadef, and I got a really, really low roll. 14% is not very much. Plus, it didn't heal, so it doesn't have leftovers. So I'm pretty sure it's Assault Vest. And if it has Assault Vest, which I thought it was, I thought it would have Nuzzle. Regardless, my counter or my switch in is always Piloswine, max Spadef Piloswine, just such a bulky boy, able to take a bunch of hits. Now, he could have Giga Drain, but that was my switch regardless. So I was able to get lucky and switch it in on the Nuzzle. He brings out Mr. Rhyme. I'm able to get rocks up as I anticipate him to switch. Plus, if he did stay in there, it wasn't a big deal. He already had rocks up anyways, so not a big deal there. I'm able to get Arcanine in on Mr. Rhyme, who is way bulkier than he should be, by the way. Way bulkier. Like, I can't kill him from 100% with my Flare Blitz, I do not think. He goes for Rapid Spin. He switches out into Mantine. Again, I get lucky again because I burn. I get the 10% burn on Palpatine. That's a pretty good name for Mantine. But I get the burn, which just allows me. So it's in range of Wild Charge. I know it is, unless you're facing the Berry Lord of Henrik, and so he's prepared for it. Luckily, Skull does not kill my Arcanine, and I'm able to just continue to pressure it. I go for the Flare Blitz, as the Calc says. I mean, I should kill it most of the time. I think about going for the extreme speed, but I decided to save the Arcanine instead and just go to my Togetic, which is my switch. I believe I heal up here. Yep. And now I use my Baton Pass. Unfortunately, I'm faster because Hat is so slow. I get in my Piloswine, and now I can get some damage off. Going for the Earthquake there seemed like the best move. I thought about doubling into my Arcanine for a little bit, but I decided getting the damage off on the Hat would have been really, really nice. As it brings it in range of a lot of other things, especially if I can get hazards up later in the game, or I believe I still have rocks. I think it's glitched out on the screen, but he brings it. No, it's not glitched out. He rapid spun it away. My Piloswine's able to survive. Here he goes Hydreigon, which I am completely fine with. I'm able to get off my my rocks, and then he goes Hydreigon. I thought he would just sit in there and sack his Mr. Rhyme, and I'd get some damage off. But by him going Hydreigon, now I'm able to get some chip off with my Ice Shard. And that really became pretty big. Henrik, after the game, was like, I probably shouldn't have let that damage hit Hydreigon because of what set he was. I didn't realize what set he was. I still think he's Choice Scarf because he's only used one move and then switched out. So I go for Flamethrower here on the Hydreigon because I anticipate him to switch out, okay? Because he's either locked into a Steel move, and my Mew most likely has Dazzling Gleam to kill it. Little did I know, the Berry Lord, of course, brings Roselli Berry, and he can survive the Dazzling Gleam. But the crit really didn't matter. I was doing, it depended how much HP I guess he had. Theoretically, if he was super defensive, I think he could have survived. But basically, the calc's like 117 to like 130 or something like that. That might be a little bit of an exaggeration, but he stays in. I decided to take his Hydreigon, major threat off the board. Pretty happy about this, and I have rocks up, which is really, really nice. Mew does a really good job pressuring, but I can't really do anything here besides just hope that he misses first impression. He does not 80% of the time. He kills you 100% of the time. I'm able to bring in Jolteon. I go for the Shadow Ball because that would bring the Ant down to about 15%, which means it'd be pretty much dead. I go for my Togetic. I really wanted him to hit there because then he'd take Life Orb, but he misses. Then he's able to Iron Head and kill my Togetic. He takes a little bit more Life Orb. Now I can freely Shadow Ball because he can't do anything to my... Well, I go for Thunderbolt because that was 100% guaranteed kill. I think a low roll on Shadow Ball actually wouldn't have killed the Ant. And I didn't want to lose my guy for free. And then he brings in the Mr. Rhyme. I just continue to Shadow Ball, hoping for Spadef drops. He finally goes for damage. Luckily, I have the Assault Vest, so he can't even kill me with a crit. I'm able to kill it. I just need to switch out into my Arcanine, lower its attack in the process, sack that thing, and then bring back in my Jolteon, who's been a pretty good cleaner. I just haven't brought it to many matches. So here's our final spread. Sorry, I kind of showed you guys before, but again, as anticipated, the Dang Durant is such a threat. It's just getting so many kills per game. And then the Hydreigon as well, being his major threats. His hazard stackers did pretty well. But luckily we're able to, with our speed, revenge that Durant, or at least force it out a few times. Piloswine, I would say definitely the MVP of the match, being able to get rocks up and get chip off on Hydreigon. And then Mew being able to just apply pressure because it had 4 coverage moves that hit super effectively against the enemy team. Glossopod never even came out. But I did want to get Durant in range of the first impression, which was about 30% or something like that. Sorry, my computer keeps going to sleep. But all right, that's going to be the last week. Good luck in playoffs, everybody. It's going to be so fun. I love playoffs. I know I've already prepped way too much, and now it's just time to sit back and relax and get ready to play instead of overthinking absolutely everything. But it should be really, really fun playoff matches. I believe Cole and Prisley play. I think Ball already beat Abert as of now. I will play Magnus, which will be a really good rematch. And then Cooper will play Henrik. And so I look forward to all those matches. I think that'll be super, super fun to watch. And all right. Peace, guys. See you later.